In today's video, I'm gonna cover everything you need to know about status effects in Outriders. Going from how it works on players to how it works on AI, how you get rid of status effect on yourself, since there actually is a way to get rid of almost every status effect in this game, and much more. There's not many days left now, and on April 1st I will grind Outriders a lot. Both at my stream at twitch.tv/widdz and of course also here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and follow so you don't miss that content. With that said though, let's get straight into the video. So before we dive straight into each status effect, there are some stuff I want to talk about before. And that is how status effect works in general. For example, each player in a session can cast one instant of each status effect per enemy. Inflicting the status again will refresh the duration of the status effect, but it won't stack. There is also a stat in the game called status power, which increases the duration and the effect of the status effects that I think we might see a bit more when it comes to the endgame. Status effects are weaker against elite enemies due to their status resistance. Players can be granted status immunity through certain item mods. While the effect lasts, you are completely immune to all status effects and enemy attacks will not apply them. I haven't seen that much of this, but I do know I saw talent, I think it was for Trickster, with the skill bullets that give you 50% resistance or something like that. So definitely expect to see more of that when the game actually launches. But with that covered, let's talk about the actual status effects. So there are 8 different status effects in Outriders. 3 of them being dots, also known as damage over time. 3 of them being CC, also known as crowd control. And then we also have 2 other ones called vulnerability and weakness. So let's kick this off talking about dots. Most of the damage over time effects work more or less the same. The only thing being different is the duration and also the damage. But let's go through them so you know exactly what they do and also which one is the best. So starting off with the bleed effect. So bleed does damage equal to 2.5% of your ability power every half second for a duration of 5 seconds. When you as a player are affected by the bleed status, you will receive damage over time while you move. You can avoid taking this damage from bleed by standing still for the duration of the effect. Then we have toxic, and it does damage equal to 3.5% of your ability power every half second for a duration of 6 seconds. So you can see they're really equal. This one is just being a little bit stronger than the bleed. So if you get affected by this as a player, the toxic effect is removed when you receive a heal during its duration. Then we have the last one, which is burn, and it does damage equal to 3.7% of your ability power every half second for a duration of 6 seconds. So super similar to toxic, just a little bit more damage. If you get affected by burn status as a player, you can remove it by just doing a roll. So that covers the damage over time status effects, which are really straightforward, basically all of them doing the same thing, just different damage and duration. Then we have the next category, which is crowd control. So there are 3 different ones, being ash, freeze and slow. And talking about ash and freeze, both of those are super identical, with the only difference as far as I know is that ash stops an enemy for 2.5 seconds while freeze stops them for 3.5 seconds. Really good skills to use when you want the enemy to stand completely still or just stop them casting a skill, for example. If you get affected by ash or freeze as a player, you can break through by using your melee attack. I think also when you are freezing, standing still will make you get frozen faster. So if you actually move while you are receiving a freeze effect, you won't get punished as bad. Worth to note is when used consecutively, the duration of these effects gets shorter. Crowd control can trigger effect resistance in elite enemies. Once activated, the enemy becomes immune to all the crowd control status, being ash, freeze and slow. Effect resistance is activated when the enemy is affected by several crowd control effects or interrupts in a short period of time. This icon appears next to the HP bar when the elite is hit by an effect. White being the first effect And when enough CC has been applied in a short time, it will turn blue, meaning they are resistant to any crowd control effect. The effect resistance icon resets when icon shows 0, and then the elite is vulnerable as normal to crowd control. Then we have the last crowd control, which is slow, which reduces movement and attack speed by 30 to 75% depending on the enemy's status resistance. And of course the duration and effect might be different depending on what skill you use or what mods you have. Then we have 2 more status effects that we definitely should not forget here. They are really strong and really straightforward. Starting with my favorite one called vulnerability, which increases the damage received by 25% for 10 seconds on the enemy you hit. So super huge to increase your damage and also your group damage against NPCs. Then we have weakness, which works in a similar way, just that instead of increasing your damage on the enemy, it reduces the enemy damage dealt to you by 30% for 6 seconds. But that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys found this video useful, and let me know in the comment section below what class you're gonna play on launch and if you're also as excited as me for Outriders release. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Outriders videos like this, and you can also catch me live on twitch.tv/widdz. I catch you guys in the next video.